Hey, everybody, this is Tony Pan. We are recording the Weather Talk podcast live on the WBIL Facebook page. We got a great show for you today. Falling iguanas in the blizzard of 2016. Huh? You never thought I'd say those two things together in one sentence, but I did.
Who would have thought?
And we're going to talk about that and how difficult it is to forecast snow around here. And we're going to talk about those weird lines you see on the street when it's about to snow. And who's going to talk about that? Our guest this week, Jim Russ from WBAL Radio. And, of course, you guys all know that guy over there.
Hi, everybody.
That is Triple D, Dust Devil Dave, back in the house again today.
What, did you just snicker at me? He snickered at me.
You.
I snickered.
You know, I invited you on this podcast. I can uninvite you.
He did.
All right,
has
see
the
ya.
power.
Snickering at me.
He has the power. All right, so I got to give Triple D credit.
Oh, hey, I get credit
you
for something.
started like an internet craze last night. And he was the one that
those pictures were stolen from my phone. I take no.
No, not
that was different.
No, that was
I'm sorry.
A different one.
That was something different.
He found the falling iguana warning that was officially issued
the Florida
by the
iguana warning.
Miami National Weather Service. Now personally, you know, I've been in the business for 30 years.
Yeah.
I have never seen a falling iguana warning issued by an official statement from the National Weather Service.
Is this a new service?
Is it?
The falling iguana service.
Now, I've looked into it a little bit, and apparently it happens not a lot, but occasionally. But it's the first time I've seen the National Weather Service put a statement out. And Dave is the one that found it.
Yes.
And then when I posted it, all the weather people here in the Mid-Atlantic started to grab it and talk about it. And if you want to see some video...
There's video?
Yeah, there's
I
video.
didn't see video.
It's all over the internet, but I posted one myself if you go to my Twitter page. So here's what happens. The temperature, if it gets down below 40 degrees in South Florida, you've been to South Florida, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, only when it's 95.
Yeah, okay. So if it gets down below 40, that's cold. If you've ever been down there, you know the people in Florida, if it gets below 50, they're all wearing parkas and, you know, all this kind of stuff.
I went to a meeting there a few years ago. I left here, it was 7 degrees. It was 60 in Tampa, and people were walking around in parkas.
Right? Okay.
Oh,
so you get you can imagine how the poor little animals feel when it gets
They got to
cold.
freak out.
So the iguanas are cold-blooded, of course, and they go out in the sun to sun themselves on a rock, you know, like me and you.
That's what we do every day. That's what we were doing the other day when you found a snake. Don't act like we didn't catch you with binoculars.
I know, right? Yeah, just picture Triple D
be a
sunning
long
himself
20
on
minutes.
a rock. That'll do it.
Yes, it is.
All right, so anyhow, these iguanas, and they're pretty big ones.
They're full size. I mean, full size baby iguanas. They're just iguanas.
So when it gets cold, I guess their metabolism goes down to such a point that they become almost paralyzed.
Yeah.
They don't die. Now, I can't say for sure that they don't die when they hit the ground.
They are alive when they fall.
I was laughing about it, and then I felt bad because I was like, wait a minute, what if these things die when they hit the ground? But they don't die when they go into this paralysis state, but they lose their grip on the trees.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
And they fall out of the trees, and then they have to wait for the sun to warm them up again, and then they come back to life.
It's sort of like they're defrosted then, right?
They get defrosted, and they come back to life, and they start running around.
And they freak out because they don't know what just happened. They're just like, hey, I was on the tree. Oh, my God, I'm on the ground.
Hey,
exactly.
Where am I?
Exactly.
Where am I? Who are you? And, you know.
I was hanging out on a tree, minding my own business. Now I got a bunch of people looking at me. What's going on here?
So if you want to see some video of what it looks like.
That's great.
The one guy, the video that I posted, this guy goes around, and there's an iguana on his back with his, spread like that. And the guy picks him up by the tail and then carries him around and then drops him down, and the iguana comes back to life and runs away.
Wow.
But, yeah.
So you have the rising barometer, falling barometer. So a falling iguana means falling temperatures. A rising iguana means what then?
If the iguanas climb higher in the trees, then I guess that means that the temperature is going up. That's an astute observation.
Thank you so much.
We need Iguana Day. Like Groundhog Day, we need Iguana Day.
Yes.
Well, the iguanas are now famous because of the internet. This is the first time I've ever seen it. Speaking of famous,
what?
Get Kat
come on in.
Say hello, Kat. This is our weekend producer, the young lady that produces the weekend shows here on WBA, and she's going to be producing a podcast for TV Hill. Say hello to all of your fans.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, she's going to produce a podcast like this one with Jason Newton, hopefully for TV Hill. So
that is the hope.
I just wanted to embarrass her, so now you can slide back over into the shadows.
Pleasure to meet all
of you. Don't step on the iguanas.
Watch out for the iguanas.
Yeah, be gentle.
Yeah, Marquise says we should do the equivalent of Groundhog Day for the iguanas.
Thank you, Marquise. Thank you for agreeing with me, sir.
And somebody else here was complimenting your beard. And
that's an old buddy of mine, Tim. Thanks, Tim. He's a beard aficionado. It is.
These people gave me a hard time because I was supposed to grow.
That's right. What happened? You got told, didn't you?
I said I wasn't going to grow. I wasn't going to shave until we got 4 inches of snow here in Baltimore, and then I wussed out because it came in patchy. And if you can't go full Wolfman,
No.
like Triple D, I say don't do it. You got to go
It
full
looks
Wolfman.
bad.
Fair enough. You know, you could paint that.
Have you ever
They
grown a
make
beard?
makeup
Tony?
for it.
I have not. I was trying to
Never.
go for that. But
Never.
I
Wow.
And I figure the way this winter is going, I might end up looking
It'd be
like Triple
full,
D.
yeah,
by
Well,
the
you
end of
got
the
into
winter.
TV when you were 7, so I can understand why.
Against his will.
I've been in the business for a long, long time. We've only had 1.8 inches of snow for the entire winter.
That's
so far.
nothing.
Washington, D.C., just over a half inch, 0.6 inches for the entire winter. At least we're beating D.C.
Now, is that normal?
It's something.
No, it's not normal. No, I mean,
Asking a question.
the normal is about 20 inches for the entire season.
Okay.
So by now we should have at least half of that because we're halfway through winter.
Right.
So we're not doing good here. But remember what happened 4 years ago today? Any of you? Raise your hand. Kat, raise your hand if you
Well,
remember. Thank
you
you.
told us so.
Yeah.
I told you guys. The blizzard of 2016.
I remember it like it was 4 years ago.
4 years ago today, the blizzard started. It started on the 22nd and went through the 23rd, 24th. Baltimore's biggest snow ever. Picked up 30 inches of snow here in Baltimore. Some parts of Western Maryland had 40 inches of
That's
snow.
a lot of snow.
That is a lot. I mean, you know, for this part of the country, that's a big
a lot
deal.
of snow.
That's a big deal in any
Oh,
part. I
yeah,
don't care
anywhere,
where.
yeah.
Were you covering that? You were here, right?
I was in Annapolis
And
at my girlfriend's house at that point, and actually I had broadcast gear with me so we could do traffic and stuff from there,
Right.
as needed. But there was no traffic. Because everybody's
there's 40 inches of snow.
This thing happens when there's a lot of snow.
Yeah.
People go into their houses and they stay there.
They're supposed to. You should.
Supposed- You know, I make fun of Baltimore all the time for closing down with an inch of snow. You know,
Baltimore
But
County
with
schools are
30
still
inches of
closed after
snow-
last week.
What's that?
Baltimore County schools are still closed after last week.
But with 30 inches of snow, I can't make fun of them for closing down. You were still here, right?
I've been here for 10 years.
Right, yeah,
Of course I
okay.
was still
Still
here.
here.
Still
Were you
here.
guys
What the
stuck
hell
here?
is
Are you
the
this?
still here
station?
now?
No, I was not in the building.
You were not
I
in the
either
building, you were
escaped.
home?
What day was it? 4 years ago?
I can't remember
know.
what day.
Middle of the
Kat
It was a
says
weekend.
I don't
Was it a
remember.
weekend?
It was
then
Friday
I-
through Sunday.
Oh, then I was at home. I was kicked up with my feet up.
Yeah.
I was in my jammies watching TV. I wasn't nowhere near this place.
I can remember. Me and Tom were on the air for like 24 hours. It was awesome.
Did you have a beard?
By the
patchy?
end of the broadcast,
Do you
the
bring
Part of a
beard
beard.
was
stuff?
coming in.
Part of a beard.
It was awesome. It was a lot of fun covering that. And, you know, I'm a weather geek, so we
Oh,
get
yeah.
something like that going. So the reason Jim is here is because...
Is there a reason why?
Yeah,
Are you gonna get
did
to
we?
that?
I don't
Get to
even
the
remember
reason-
at this point.
He wandered in off the
It had
street,
nothing to do with
and
why.
we decided we should ask him at
I don't
least some
know.
poignant questions.
What? Who?
So, a lot of you probably noticed right before it's going to snow.
Usually.
If you drive on any of the major roads around here, you see those lines on the street, right? Now, I remember back in the day, Jim, they used to put down rock salt. Just salt. They
Back
used
in the
salt every
day.
Back in the olden days.
When it was really cold.
When it was really cold. So, I was curious, and I found Jim, and I said, what is that stuff that they're putting down? And you were kind enough to go through the...
It's salt brine.
It's a salt
It's
brine.
a salt brine.
water.
It's a solution, and it's when they first started tinkering with this stuff, it used to freeze on
Really?
the pavement
Because
when
they
they put
didn't
it
have
down.
the
So
mixing right?
the mixture is roughly 78% water, 22% salt.
Okay.
So the concept here is to have something on the pavement so when it starts to snow, the first part of the snow doesn't adhere to the pavement. So there's a couple of variables here. It has to be 20 degrees. 17, I think, is the bottom threshold. 17
Wait,
degrees.
if it drops below 17, the brine doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, okay.
It has to be above 17 degrees. The event cannot start as rain because it's going
It's
to
just
wash
getting washed
away.
off, yeah.
So those are the two things. But so this whole thing has actually worked out really well. It keeps the initial part of the snow from sticking, and in the long run, I think Maryland Highways told me over the past 5 years they have used 50% less salt on roads because
That's
they
good for the
start
environment.
That's
off
better.
with this brine situation. They actually have a few roads, and it's a long list, because of environmental concerns near the Bay, southern Maryland, where they use only salt brine to fight snow. So they keep the amount of salt that's going directly into waterways down to a minimum.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And it also saves money. I think last year they saved like $10 million just
Wow.
last year.
Now, do they have something that works when it's below 17 degrees, or
Yes.
we just SOL?
It's called magnesium
We just
chloride. SOL. Nice. This is a family podcast, Dave.
Stuck out of luck?
So,
what are you talking
Go
about?
stand in the corner.
So yeah, that's
It's my
great, but-
podcast. You go stand in the corner.
So, so what is it called?
It's called magnesium chloride, and they use this out in Western Maryland a lot because
Because
it's
it's much
traditionally a
colder
lot
out there. Yeah,
colder,
sure.
and they get a lot more snow out
Yeah.
there. So they use that, but it's also a liquid thing, and they'll mix it in here if it's supposed to be a very cold snow. But we don't. We're generally
don't
right
often get
around
those. Yeah.
freezing when it happens. So they'll use that. And they have 16 places around the state where they make this stuff, and they have 550 trucks that are able to apply. This is just Maryland highways. And the funny thing about Maryland is the state of Maryland, this is both the Maryland Transportation Authority, the people that do the toll roads, and MDOT that does everything else, the interstate, the numbered roads. They cover 30% of the roads of Maryland, but those roads carry 80% of the traffic in the state.
Ah, okay.
So, and then the counties have their own thing. I mean, they all do this sort of thing too. And of course, you've seen in the city, you'll see it on the JFX and other roads where they start applying the salt brine solution before the storm.
I don't know where this. I guess it's a myth or whatever. There's a lot of people that think that Maryland has fewer trucks to remove snow and stuff like that than other surrounding states. Now we're a smaller state, of course, like Pennsylvania, so the number is going to be smaller, but. Per capita, we do well. We're not like a southern state. This isn't like Georgia, right?
No, it's not at all, and it's apples and oranges because it's really tough to compare because of the size of the state, the climate. But in Maryland, state highway, just for the state, 30% of the equipment that they use to do the roads belongs to the state. The other 70% of the equipment they use is contractor stuff. So the guys that are out doing road work who can't do road work in the cold are then contracted by the state in order to help, fight the snow. So when you see the plow trains out on the Beltway, you'll see a lot of contractor trucks mixed in with the state trucks. And they bring them in. They start off using the state trucks, and as they need more, they call in the hired trucks in order to help out.
Now, for young hip guys like Triple D,
man.
There's an app for that, right? You told me that you can actually follow the snowplows now where they're at?
If you go to the Maryland Highways website,
How about that?
And I forgot the exact link, but if you go to the Maryland Highways website, you can click on a link during the storm, and it will show you, if you're on a state highway route, it'll show you the route that the plow is following. There's a little bit of a render time. They don't want you to know exactly where it is because people could do stupid things.
Why don't they want you to know exactly
mysterious.
Why?
Because they're mysterious.
They don't want people doing anything crazy to the snowplow. So they don't want
I guess that makes sense then.
So it will show you where it's been and where it's going.
Gotcha.
And they show you, I think there's a slight lag time based on where it's been. So you can see the actual route that covers your area and where your plow is at any given time.
Okay, well,
but don't use your app while you're driving.
Never.
No, but this is really
public
good.
service from Weather Talk.
If you're really good at
Don't
home
do that.
and you're thinking, okay, when can I get out of here? When is the plow going to pass so I can follow the plow out of here?
Well, that's a good thing.
So you can sort of figure that out.
Can I call work and tell them I'm not going to be in because the plow hasn't gotten here yet?
Not there? No, that doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
All right, so the next question is for Kat. She's a producer here for how long? How long you been here now?
I think approximately 6 months.
6 months.
Approximately.
She hasn't had a good snowstorm yet, obviously. So we need to cook up a good snowstorm for our weekend producer that we can do like wall-to-wall snow coverage. You're looking forward to that, right?
I would be okay with that one. I grew up in D.C., and I remember vividly the snowpocalypse.
There you go.
There you go.
It was the year I learned how to drive and then how to dig out a car when you've had a massive
What are you,
snowstorm.
like 12 years old, the year you learned how to drive? Oh, my God. You're making me feel old, Kat. All right, so we're going to cook up a snowstorm. We're going to try to, anyhow.
Yes.
The setup this weekend is very similar, atmospherically speaking, to the blizzard of 2016.
Oh, boy.
There's a difference, though, and this is
Warning.
This is the
It's
reason
warmer?
why it's really hard to. Yes, that. This is why it's really hard
I'm here to help.
forecast snow in this area. The area of low pressure, which again is very similar to what happened in 2016, is just 200 miles in a different spot. 200 miles.
And that makes a big difference.
That's the difference between a cold rain event, like what it looks like right now as we record this on Wednesday. What is the date today? 21st.
Is it?
We record this
22nd.
on the 22nd.
22nd.
Thank you. I always get the date wrong.
Time flies when you get that old, you know.
Oh,
I will not be invited
Jim
back.
Russ, ladies and gentlemen.
It took us 6 months to get you back this time, so.
So the point is, this is why it's hard to forecast snow around here. If you move this area of low pressure the way it looks like right now, 200 miles to the south, we end up with another gigantic snowstorm.
Because it pulls in cold air?
Because it pulls in cold air.
Thank
Very
you
good.
so much.
If it stays where it is right now, as of this Wednesday, it looks like a cold rain for us. Next week, the pattern looks very active, and I see a shift in the direction from which the storms are coming. Up until this point, most of this winter, the storms have been cutting west of us, which is not good for snow here in Baltimore. There is a hint on the GFS. I know it's the GFS. For those of you that follow the modeling, that's like the not so bright kid in class.
It's the kid you don't copy off of.
We're getting into the geeky part of the weather thing here, right?
For those of you that follow the modeling, they did upgrade the GFS and they tried to make it better, but it's still not great.
No, it's no European model. That's for darn sure.
Can you throw some more acronyms at me, Tony?
I could try.
Wow,
With that said,
not endearing yourself.
The storm track is more out of the Gulf of Mexico and up the East Coast, and as both of you know, that is much better for snow here. Most of our big
storm to be east of us as opposed to west of us, right?
Exactly. Very good.
I've been paying attention.
We're getting a more nor'easter type storm, and that's what I see kind of hinting at the long range.
In the next couple of weeks, we're creeping up on the 2010 blizzards.
The back-to-back?
Yeah.
This is prime time for
Baltimore. We're creeping up on it.
Historically speaking, this next 6 weeks, 5 weeks is prime time for Baltimore monster snows. So hopefully something.
How about iguana snows?
The iguanas.
I don't want it snowing.
Will it snow iguanas?
If that happens,
if the storm dips down to Florida and sucks up iguanas that are like paralyzed because
I think you
of
should
the
answer
cold.
that one, Triple D.
Yes, we will have. It'll be
iguana snow.
Yes, we'll have iguana storms. It'll be like iguana-nados. I stopped the show. Thank you.
You should just quit.
Thank you.
Conversion, you do rain to snow. How many iguanas equals how many inches of snow?
I think we should end the podcast on that. How many iguanas?
Oh, well, no, we actually have a legit question I think we should get in.
Oh, we do? From the internet? Okay,
yes, not from one of us clowns.
Not from one of us. Okay. No.
Let me find it.
Now you've lost it.
No, it's right here. Karush, does the Australian fire have any impact on our weather?
It does not. They were big, and it doesn't put enough ash into the air. You're thinking like a volcano would spew ash into the air and then travel around the globe and dim out the sunlight.
Yeah.
Not enough ash from the fires to do that.
So Karush, no.
No, it would not. But that's a good question because a lot of acreage was burned, obviously.
Are there no iguanas in Australia? Koalas. Yeah. They don't. When they freeze, they just get cold.
Yeah, that's it.
They have fur.
They have fur. Yes.
So that's a good question, though. But no, it would have to be more like a gigantic volcanic explosion for that to happen. All right, let's wrap up this edition of the Weather Talk Podcast. I want to thank Jim Russ for coming in, even though he insulted both of us through the entire podcast. For Triple D and Kat over in the corner
Kat in the corner.
We're signing off. Thanks. We'll see you again next week on the Weather Talk Podcast.